Hello everybody! Sorry I haven't been uploading the past couple of weeks. I just kind of wanted to take a little break from making videos. Well, now the break has ended. You shall wait no more. Alright. So, today, I'm also going to be taking a little break of album reviews. But I promise I will get back to it again. But this video I've been wanting to do for a while now, this type of video. I'm gonna talk about some albums that I think deserve more love. Albums that they're not that many popular because they're way too overhated. So yeah, I picked out 5 albums that I think are very underrated and deserve more love. So without further ado, this might be a shorter video than usual, but here we go. So, these aren't linked in anywhere. I just picked 5 albums that I think are underrated and need more love. Because I personally love these albums. And if you love these albums that I mentioned in this video, comment down below. So the first album I wanted to talk about is AC/DC, Fly on the Wall. AC/DC, everyone knows them, but not everyone knows this album. This album, I swear, this has to be like the most underrated album AC/DC ever did. I mean, after Back in Black, they did release a lot of albums after Back in Black, but the albums after that, nobody really even mentions those albums. I mean, after Back in Black, for those about to rock, people only know that album because of the title track. So technically, that album's kind of underrated as well. Flick of the Switch, there's no hits out of that album. And then Fly on the Wall. Yeah, AC/DC wasn't doing too good until they released Razor's Edge, which that album got AC/DC back into the popular stage. I don't know, man. I actually kind of like Fly on the Wall. I mean, say what you will, but I think this is one of the greatest albums they ever did. Yeah, say what you will about this album, but I really love it. Fly on the Wall, Shake the Foundations, First Blood, Danger, Sink the Pink, Playing with Girls, Stand Up. Every song in this album, I think, is a masterpiece. Like I said, say what you will about this album, but I personally think this is one of the greatest albums they ever did. Yeah, this definitely needs more love. But I will say though, my only complaint about this album is Brian Johnson's vocals. What's going on with his vocals in this album? They sound pretty weird. Well, Brian Johnson, he sounded weird to begin with. But he sounds, I don't know if it has to do with the production. Listen to this album again. Listen to his vocals. They don't sound good. What happened? Did he have his vocal cords damaged or something? I don't know. But yeah, his vocals, they don't sound that really good in this album. But that's my only complaint. I honestly like Fly on the Wall. So, there we go. Alright, now I'm actually I know I said 5 albums, but I technically chose 6. But these 2 albums I picked out here, they were released around at the same time, so I kind of wanted to include both of them. I'm talking about Metallica, Load, and Reload. Yeah, these 2 albums, again, back in the day when these 2 albums were released, Metallica, a lot of fans have said repeatedly that after And Justice for All, they didn't write anything good. Starting with the Black Album, a lot of fans consider them as a sellout band because These albums do not sound like metal. I mean, look, who cares, man? Who cares? Who cares if it sounds like metal? Who cares if it sounds like the signature sound? Who cares if it doesn't? I mean, all what matters, in my opinion, is if you like it or not. It doesn't matter what kind of album it has to be. I mean, every band has to try something new once in a while. I mean, whether you like it or not. So I actually kind of found these two albums very unique. They're very unique. And, again, say what you will, but I consider Reload my favorite Metallica album. Yeah, I know, that's a shocker. I know. But that's my personal opinion. I actually love Reload more than Load. I know a lot of people said that Load is the better album. No, I think Reload is the better album. Like I said, I consider that as my favorite Metallica album. You can say what you will, but whatever, man. But yeah, like I said, these albums, I honestly think they're very unique. You know, they try some punk. They try some hard rock. I mean, that's kind of heard in the Black Album, but these two albums have more rock in them. There's hardly ever Flash at all. I mean, the closest thing out of these two albums that comes close to Flash are Overload, maybe Wasting My Hate. That song's kind of flashy, but also at the same time it's kind of not. Then Reload, I'll definitely feel, because that's the most famous song from that album. But yeah, I mean, these albums, does have a few hits, Until It Sleeps, King Nothing, Outlaw Torrent, Fuel, The Memory Remains. But there's a lot of deep cuts on here, and most of the songs they have not played live. To this day, Metallica has played most of these songs. They haven't played most of these songs. Like I said, I honestly love these two albums. But I really love the final track from Reload, Fixer. That is a very good song. And surprised you only played it once. If you only played it one time, that's it. That's it, man. I also love, from Reload, Low Man's Lyric, Carpe Diem Baby, Where the Wild Things Are. I'm fine with, albums that are famous, but I don't know, man. I kind of like underrated albums more. I mean, these two albums show it, man. I love these two albums. Like I said, I'm kind of technically cheating. It's not actually 5. It's just 6 albums. But I just kind of wanted to show both those two albums, considering they were released around at the same time. Alright, next up, Led Zeppelin. Yeah, they're famous for the first 4 albums, Houses of the Holy, Physical Graffiti. What about Presence? No one hardly ever mentions this album at all. This album, I'm gonna keep saying it, say what you will, but this is just one of the greatest albums they ever did. If I was to rank all of Led Zeppelin's albums, this would definitely be pretty high, for me at least. Probably even it might be number 2. Might be number 2 or number 3, I don't know. Well, my number 1 Led Zeppelin album is definitely Physical Graffiti. But Presence, this is an album that, you kind of don't like at first, but listening to it again a couple more times, you finally get into it. This is what this album did for me. But for many people, they just hate it. Like, they don't even try to listen to it again at all. I mean, yeah. I mean, Achilles' Last Stand is probably the closest thing that Led Zeppelin did to prog rock. That song it's great. It's great. It's one of the greatest songs they have ever done, period. At least in my opinion, anyway. We also got some other great tracks like T for One, the final track. They're kind of making a sequel to Since I've Been Loving You. Again, that song is definitely better. But T for One, that song, honestly, it just, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just that good. But you also have Royal Orleans, For Your Life, Nobody's Fault But Mine, Candy Store Rock, Hot Songs for Nowhere. Like I said, just a great album that needs more love. If you haven't checked out, if you haven't listened to this album in a long time, go ahead and go back and listen to it, because you're missing out. This is actually a great album. I just, again, love it. Alright, next one. Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd, they have some underrated albums, yes they do. And this album, sadly, just a lot of people just hate this album for like no reason. I'm talking about the final cut. And well, I do kind of agree it's kind of all over the place, but come on. The final cut, I will say this, it is one of my least favorite albums from Pink Floyd, but I still love it. It's still a pretty dang good album, in my opinion. A lot of people hate this album, even going so far as to call this a Roger Waters solo album. Yeah, he is kind of all over the place. Speaking of Roger Waters, before you ask, no, I am not listening to his re-recording of Dark Side of the Moon. He's already done bad enough. I ain't listening to that. Yeah. When you really think about it, Pink Floyd are pretty much only known for Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, Animals in the Wall. That's pretty much it. Well, Metal too, but that's just because of Echoes. Yeah, when you really think about it, Pink Floyd's not really, besides those 5 albums, not really that well known. Yeah, I know it's kind of a crazy thought, but I was going to pick Obscured by Clouds, though. But then I realized I don't have that album yet. But yeah, the final cut. What songs are on here? The Post-War Dream, When the Tigers Broke Free, The Heroes Return, Not Now John, Two Sons in the Sunset. I really love this album. Like I said, it is one of my least favorites from Pink Floyd. At least it's not as bad as Umaguma. I really don't like that album. Alright. Last one for this video. And by the way, before I show the album, YouTube, this is just the album cover. This is just the album cover. This is fake. So don't block me. Iron Maiden, The X Factor. Again, the only reason people hate this album is just because Bruce Dickinson isn't on it. Well, this album along with Virtual 11, which I don't have in my collection yet. But I actually kind of like that album too. But I think The X Factor is the better album with Blaze Bayley on vocals. Again, people only hate it just because, one of the reasons is because Bruce Dickinson is not in it. You were fine with him replacing Paul Di'Anno. Why are you not fine with Blaze replacing Bruce? The nerves of some people, am I right? But anyway, yeah, Blaze, he's not as good as Bruce, I get it. But, he is probably like the second best vocalist that Iron Maiden has to offer. Blaze, but if Bruce didn't come back, he would probably be in Iron Maiden forever. If Bruce didn't come back, to this day, Blaze would probably still fronting them. I'm pretty sure people would probably get used to it. I'm sure a lot of people I'm pretty sure Iron Maiden did get some flack when Bruce joined, replacing Paul Di'Anno. I think they did get some flack for it. But, since Bruce, he's been a long-time vocalist, people are used to it now. And even to this day, hate on this album, along with Village 11, has died down a bit, because they finally realized how good of a vocalist Blaze is. I mean, The Sign of the Cross, the first track, The Sign of the Cross, has got to be my favorite Blaze song. I never heard any of his solo stuff yet, but I know he has a solo career, but I haven't listened to any of his solo albums yet, but just by Iron Maiden, I think Sign of the Cross has to be my favorite Blaze song. It's really good. Great opener of an album. But there's also plenty of good songs on here as well. Lord of the Flies, Man on the Edge, The Aftermath, The Edge of Darkness, 2 a.m., The Unbeliever. Again, I think it is a very, very good album. Of course, again, Bruce, I also think Bruce is a better vocalist, but come on. Show some respect for Blaze here. Just show him some respect, man. I mean, again, he may not be Bruce, but I mean, does it really matter who's in the band anyway? I mean, that's a question that I've thought for a long time. Does it really matter who's in the band? I mean, I don't care if someone gets replaced. If someone left the band or someone died. Just as long as you like the band, that's what matters to me. I mean, that might be a crazy thought, but whatever. Yeah, X Factor, probably out of the 5 or 6 albums I've chosen, this is probably my favorite one. Like I said, in my opinion, it's that good, and just listen to this album again. I'm sure you'll get into it. It's like I said, it's very, very good. So, what are your thoughts on these albums I've chosen in this video? Do you like them, or do you not? What albums do you like, and what albums do you not? And to list some of your favorite albums that are underrated, don't get as much love, list them in the comments below. I'd love to see it. So that's it. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment down below. And I'll see you guys next time.